Hello, my name is Jim McCarty, and I'm a student of history. And in case you haven't gotten the gist of it yet, I do, yes, have a southern accent. That's because I'm from Louisiana and Texas. It just gives me that kind of sound. The reason I'm making these videos and wanting to get them out is to start discussions on history. Try to learn history. What we're seeing so much on TV and the things that are bothering me is we're getting reality TV instead of history. We're not getting the truth of the matter. We're not even getting close to the truth of the matter. We're getting conspiracy theories, we're getting all kinds of garbage thrown at us, and it really doesn't give you any kind of idea of what mankind has gone through to get to the place where we are now. This also gives us a reflection of who we are as a people. We keep tending to believe the stories that were told to us in the past, and they're not necessarily the truth. The question comes down to, how does history evolve? How does history become what we think it is? Many of the stories that we hear are passed down through time. Starting out with times prior to the written word. Those stories were passed down from generation to generation through the bards, through the storytellers of the village, and those grew as each bard would tell the story. Why? That bard wanted to make a living. Making a living means that you have to interest or pique the interest of the people that you're talking to or about. The second thing is that history changes, and it's true, to the victor goes the spoils. Let's take, for instance, Richard III. King Richard III has come to us through many storytellings, especially one which is memorable, and that is Shakespeare's Richard III. Shakespeare was writing his Richard III play, not as a history report, but he also was trying to make sure that Queen Elizabeth I, who was the granddaughter of Henry VII, who overthrew Richard III, he was making sure that she was happy with his story too. So, in order to make it more grandiose that Henry VII came out as victor, he had to demonize Richard III more than you would a normal king. So what we get is people now even leading tours in England and quoting Shakespeare as part of history. And it had nothing to do with the true story. Richard III, actually his rule was not a bad rule. There was a lot of conflict, but the War of the Roses had taken its toll on many of the people. So yeah, it was a hard time. But he wasn't that bad of a ruler. Did he kill the princes in the tower? Maybe. But in that day and age, that was not uncommon to kill relatives, to kill sons, nephews, fathers. It wasn't that rare. And you weren't considered especially vicious for having done so. However, that being said, it would have been to Henry VII's advantage to have killed the princes in the tower himself and left the blame to Richard III. So we go through history, and history is filled with these kind of instances where cover-ups, where stories have been expanded. Ramesses II, when he went up and fought the Hittites, Ramesses basically fought to a draw. But he comes back to Egypt, and he celebrates his great victory. He puts it on every stele, every building that he makes, he puts it everywhere. He advertises. And that advertising does him good, because guess what? He really doesn't have any more true threats to his kingdom, because he's seen as a fighting prince. These are things that are reported throughout history and change history. So what my intent with these little discussions are, that I'm not coming off as being the last word on anything. I'm not the expert on anything. But what I'm trying to do is open a line of discussion Now, I expect everybody to participate. That's what I want. You don't have to agree with me. That's not part of this. However, I do anticipate that you not try to cyberbully. This is not what this is about. This is about putting out ideas and receiving ideas back. You may be teaching me, I may be teaching you. You will also experience throughout these, I'm going to bring in some of my friends that they themselves have a different opinion than I do. It's not that I don't respect them. Matter of fact, I have a daughter that has a history degree and a son. And they don't necessarily agree with everything that I think about history, and that's fine. They're individuals. They have the right to find their own truth to the matter. The only rules that I'm going to have is that I don't want to talk about Loch Ness monsters. I don't want to talk about any of the Bigfoot, Yetis, any triangle, Bermuda or otherwise. These are all things that conspiracy theorists try to put out there and try to make as something that's a reality. The aliens did not build the pyramids. And for people to even think so is kind of irrational. Much knowledge has been lost throughout the ages, and through different methods. The building of the pyramids was one such example. But when the Cleopatra had the library burned, and we lost so much of what had been known to man at that time, because it lost all the records. There weren't necessarily copies of all these books that they had, or scrolls that they had there. So much knowledge was lost there. When you see towns that are covered by lava flows, those people were exterminated, basically, and many of the civilizations have been lost that way. Conquerors have come in and destroyed the history of a nation simply because it met their needs. So all of that nation's knowledge and science was lost. And that includes when the Europeans came and did away with the Aztecs and the Incas. All of their knowledge was lost. So for us to assume that because people were living in a primitive time does not mean that they were unintelligent. They had the same brain power that we do. So it's kind of a lack of understanding of what you're looking at to try to say that they couldn't have known how to do this. You don't even understand what they knew or didn't know by this time. We're finding out more all the time through research, through satellites are even finding new cities that we haven't even known existed. So history is expanding. Our knowledge of history is expanding. So what I want to do is try to delve into things that we know. And it will not be in chronological order. It's going to skip around quite a bit. We're going to go to Custer and what happened at the Little Bighorn, or as the Native Americans call it, Battle of Greasy Grass. We're going to go into some of European history. We're going to go into Native American, Aztec. We're just going to jump around, and we're going to have a good time, hopefully, in discussing what's happened. One of my stories will be about the infamous Bonnie and Clyde. I'm going to go to some of the places that I'm talking about, but the majority I won't, because, well, I'm not very wealthy, so I will be doing this on a budget. So much of what we'll be discussing, we'll just be discussing at a table or at a setting of my choice. But I hope that it inspires you to respond to me. I hope that I get your ideas on things, because trust me when I say this, I'm not thinking that my word is the most knowledgeable word out there. Till the next one, I'm going to say goodbye for now, but I'm going to connect with this one I have already recorded down in down in Logan's, or north of Logansport, which I think you'll find interesting. Please respond on it, and please give your opinions. Let your friends know. Tell them how to get to the YouTube site. I thank you so much.